Skillful, remember there.
First and foremost, free the whole world, boss. I'm Jimmy Hoffa. Big up yourself, Gaza Nation. We're back with another episode of the Vybz Kartel show, and today we're breaking down the Squash featuring Vybz Kartel Skillful remix to the patois illiterate. You already know it's G6. So without further ado, 6 Boss, please begin.
Feel me life now over. Drop the Benz, drop the Bentley, drop the Range Rover. 31 in the clip, ready for bite them like a cobra. Never shake out like a soda, cause we better than the mobia.
The 6 Boss begins the first verse by letting us know that his life ain't over. No one stopped the 6, no one stopped his life, so he's gonna live it to the best of his ability. So then he says he's about to drop the Benz, he's about to bring out the Bentley, he's about to bring out the Range Rover, and for most of us, these whips is just a dream, right? Like, you know, I drove in a Bentley, I drove in a Benz, and yo, when Marlon, I was driving all through Kingston when Marlon Samuels took me out. He had the Range Rover. I was always inside the Range Rover, and just as a passenger, it feels dope. So imagine how good it feels to be the owner of these vehicles, because those vehicles ain't no joke. So at 6, they're living that lifestyle, man. And then he says he got 31 in the clip, ready to bite them like a cobra. So any opposition, any enemies, just know that the 6 is strapped. So you got to catch them when they're lacking, because they're ready for war. You know what I mean? They don't want war, but they're ready for it at all times. And then he says he'll never shake out like a soda. So I know a bunch of people there moving shaky, but the 6 don't move shaky. Gaza, we don't move shaky. Everybody already knows that. It's been proven. We don't even got to speak about it. But if you ever take like a bottle of soda, you shake it, that shit'll just, you know, it's gone. You know, you ain't got no more soda left. So they never move shaky. And never, right? So then my favorite line, he says, cause we're badder than their obeyers. So to the patois illiterate, the best way I can explain an obeyer is like a voodoo priest. Somebody who comes and puts a hex on you, you know what I mean? Puts a spell, or pays a priest, a voodoo priest, or some type of black magic person to put a spell on you, you know, because they hate you, they're jealous of you, envious of you. So, yo, the 6 Boss Squash says, dog, we're badder than your obeyer. Yo, we move better than you. We're closer to the spirits than your obeyer. So your obeyer ain't doing shit. Keep wasting your money. You ain't gonna harm G6.
Better than them over lucky like me when the latchy car start without the battery. Where we get it from the factory. Have a pretty girl to match me. Them can stop me like the taxi. Start the bricks and with the last kit, then put it in at the plastic.
Squash then repeats that we are badder than your obeyer, right? So no harm is coming to G6 because we're better than the obeyer that you pay off. And then he said, and he's lucky like he won the lotto. And that's a true statement. Any person who comes from the ghetto, you know, and changes their entire life and makes it better for them and the people around them, just like Gaza always does and the 6 always does, that's just like winning a lottery ticket. I'm sure some of it has to do with you're blessed and you're talented, but it's also like winning the lottery, because the thing I always say is, like, the next Michael Jordan, he's either dead or in prison. So hold a mez on that line. And then he said his car starts without the battery. Now I was thinking for a second, I'm like, that line don't make any sense. Then I'm like, every single car that I ever had, that shit started with a battery. He got some of the new exclusive expensive shit that, you know, that those Teslas and shit, they start just without nothing, you know what I mean? And batteries, you already know, you might look stupid. You go to start your car and that shit don't start, and then you're like, damn, I don't know how to fix this now. I look stupid in front of some people. So they got the whips that don't die, you know what I mean? The whips with that you don't need a battery, you probably plug it into something. And then he said, he goes, yo, where'd we get that from? we got it straight from the factory. So that's every ghetto youth's dream, right? You just walk into the real, the real dealership, not a used dealership or a secondhand dealership. You go straight to, say you wanted a Benz, you go straight to the Benz dealership. You say, I want this model, this color, the guts got to be this color, the rims got to be this, and then you buy that, and then you get exactly straight from the factory exactly what you wanted. That's a dream, right? Then he said my favorite line, he goes, and then I have a pretty girl to match me. So whatever drip he got going on that day, whatever whip that he's pulling out, he got a girl like an accessory to match him. So that's Don talk right there. That's big, right? That's some fly shit. And then he said, yo, you can't stop me like a taxi. You already know, right? In every big city, it's hard. If you want a taxi, maybe 4 or 5 will drive by before you can actually get one to stop. But he said, yo, you can't stop me like a taxi. He's gonna keep pushing. And then he said, we stack them bricks, we put them in elastics, and then we wrap them in plastic. Now, I don't know what the bricks are made out of, because we ain't snitching over here. We ain't 6ix9ine over here. But he's wrapping whatever these bricks, I'm going to say his bricks are just legal money that the 6 is getting. But yeah, they're wrapping those bricks up in elastics and compressing them, wrapping them in plastic so maybe they don't smell, and then we shipping them out, bro. And with that last line, we've reached the glorious chorus.
Hey, live some different life, shine bright, but the pussy them. Them all the good and all the things them we do for them. Yeah, want that strength that we give and them still while we feed them. You're right, yeah. Do this by myself and we don't need nobody else.
This chorus is fire, dog. And yo, really fire. You gotta listen to the words. And big up, you already know, big up Shab Don, big up Otto, big up Din Din. You already know they're super talented and they're taking over Jamaica with their sound. So big them all up. But Squash, the 6 Bar, says, yo, we're living a different life than the rest of them. And it's true, right? Gaza in the 6, they're living a different life, you know what I mean, than the rest of us, right? And they say, we're shining bright on the pussy them. So, yeah, we're shining bright on all the bad minds, letting them know that it don't pay off to be a bad mind. It pays to work, get your money, believe in what you believe in, and you know what I mean, and really make a movement. So then he said, remember all the good things, and remember all the good and the things that we do for them. So like not every, but a lot of people have been in this situation where somebody you care about, you do something a lot for them. You know what I mean? People have taken care of me in my worst times. I've taken care of people in their worst times. And then they, all of a sudden, when they start to make it, they start to feel good, all of a sudden they forget about every single thing that you did for them. And that's some crazy shit. I'll never understand it, because I'm always indebted to every person that ever did. Like, mad people hate on Terror Don in Gaza Nation, but I always remember Terror Don for what he did for me when my show was coming up. He got me 1,000 subscribers in like a night, you know what I mean? So I always respect him and rate him for that, regardless what anybody says. So that's this chorus is a big statement, you know what I mean? I want to emphasize some of these things that these artists are saying, because what they're saying is really deep. It's not just 2 lines. It's actually something that you can actually sit, listen to, and go, damn, yo, I can reflect. This is part of my life. And then he says, yo, the amount of strength that we gave them, and they still want us for dead. That's that story of the streets, bro. It's like, I give you strength, I help build you up. You asked for a handout, I rated you. I was like, yo, this little youth is a good dude. And then all of a sudden, maybe they didn't make it, their talent wasn't enough to make it. All of a sudden, yo, fuck this dude. Yo, this dude fucked up my career like they always do to Cartel. We already know what they do to Cartel. This dude did this to me, blah, blah, blah. And it's like, bro, you fucked up your own career, bro. He gave you a forward. He gave you a strength and he did shit about it. And now you want to blame him for your fuck ups. Like, that shit is crazy. And then this is my favorite, yo, for real. I want to take a moment, yo. Big up Rygan, dog. Big up Rygan King. Yo, I hope that you are 100% feeling better. It's just prayers and blessings, man. And we know that you're a soldier. You're gonna stand strong. I'm just glad you're alive. They ain't kill you, bro. But yo, hold your head, man. I can't wait for you to come back, make more music, become a bigger artist, blow up, bro. Big up Rygan King. But Squash say, yo, Rygan, we do this by ourselves. We don't need nobody else. And that's a fact, bro. It's like, if you even built up your platform and did anything like any person, you did it by yourself until someone else recognized you, and then someone else maybe gave you a strength or whatever. But the whole movement started with you doing what you did. So this chorus, Skillful chorus, is really, really, really deep. But I mean, in just so little words, you said so much if you really, really hold a mez and think about it. But yeah, big up everybody on the track. This shit is crazy. This is one of those songs that won't take over the airwaves because it's not a pop song or it's not a crazy song, but this is a song that real gangsters, real people will listen to and go, yo, I rate this shit. This shit is what I drive to when I'm alone and listen to get motivation.
Them same one choose Barabbas over Jesus. That's why me no religious, too much hypocrite I need that. Kill the great man, them turn them in a hero. I owe them.
Adi the Innocent begins the first verse by kicking knowledge as he always does. He's the teacher. It's crazy how much he teaches all of us. But yo, he said, you're the same one that chose Barabbas over Jesus, right? So in the New Testament, they was both prisoners, Jesus and Barabbas. I hope I said it right, but they was both prisoners. Pontius Pilate chose to free up Barabbas and keep Jesus locked down. Think of that as a metaphor for Cartel being locked up right now. Motherfucking genius lyrics. But yo, then he says, that's why I don't really trust too much, because they're all hypocrites and idiots. Think of that shit. Look at how many people have turned on the Gaza over the years. Look at how many people as hypocrites say we don't fuck with politicians. Now they're doing politician dub plays. Think of that shit, bro. So he don't really trust. Yo, me not trust people. So I already know that, right? And then he says, you kill a great man, right? And they turn you into a hero. Who are they, bro? Like, who is the people rewriting history? History is his story. And the story always goes to the victor. You understand? So the winner always gets to tell his story. That's what history is, right? And then Cartel is saying, yo, you go kill a real hero. And then you get to paint him as a villain. But the problem is, Gaza Nation, we all hold down Cartel's legacy. So no matter whatever happens in the world, his legacy will always be painted correctly as a person who always spoke up, no matter even if it put him in prison away from his kids, spoke up for the ghetto youth when all the rest of them are sell out for a couple pieces of silver. Real talk.
Walk with me rifle for shoot them. Real bad slave me not teaming. How the fuck you have wheelless chop down student?
Our great Gaza leader then says that he walks with his rifle just to shoot them. So he's walking with a lyrical rifle just to shoot down all the hypocrite bullshit that they're saying, right? And then he says he's a real bad slave. He's not timid. And Cartel says this a lot. He says bad slave. And for the patois illiterate, you know what I mean? A bad slave is maybe what we refer to in the slavery days as a field slave versus a house slave. So he's a field slave. He's not timid to speak out. He's a Nat Turner. So if you don't know in your history books, Kartel is just like a Nat Turner, right? Nat Turner, the devil burner, right? Big up yourself. And then he goes, how the fuck do we have way less jobs than we have students, right? So all these students are gonna graduate in Jamaica and they have zero prospects. They're graduating, you work real hard, you know you gotta do a lot of different things in Jamaica than you do in American high schools. In American high schools, you just go to class, you get a diploma, and that's the end of it. But they gotta pass all type of CSEC and all types of different tests, and you gotta do all these skills just to get a job at KFC or something. And there ain't even enough jobs out there for the youth. So yo, Kartel, I swear, these are the reasons why he's a legend, bro, because he really talks about what's going on in the country of Jamaica that he loves.
Look how you discharge the youths them. No hope, no dream for tomorrow. Then you want me to take the blame. Don't tell me about no role, my girl.
One Don then he says, look how you're destroying the youth. Look how you're destroying their future. He's talking to the government. You already know. And they says they have no hopes and they don't even have dreams for tomorrow. They have nothing. Every time you wake up, it's just, I gotta get my food. I gotta watch out for this person who's trying to rob me, kill me. It's a rough environment. So he paints a real picture of the streets. So I always appreciate that. And then he says, and then you want Kartel to take the blame when he grew up in this environment? You want him to take the blame? And then he says, so if you want him to take the blame, don't tell him that he's a role model. He's a role model for the ghetto youth, but and he's a role model, and then he should take the blame for everything that's wrong in Jamaica, right? It's all his problem. It's not the government's problem. There's nobody else, right? That's sarcasm, because we already know the real true problem is definitely not Kartel. It's definitely not dancehall music. We already know the government in Jamaica hates dancehall music until it comes to in election time. Now all of a sudden they rate dancehall music. Hypocrites, idiots.
Can't fool me. Try somebody else. I'm unstoppable. Them a go tired for some fears. Get a youth man.
The teacher then says you can't fool him, right? And you can hear the inflection in his voice when he's singing. He's singing this out. There's real pain in his voice. You know, you can't fool him. You can fool the rest of them, but you can't fool Gaza, because we're smarter than that. And then he says, so try somebody else, man. Just give up. Give up the Kartel fight. Go against somebody else, bro. And then he says, he's unstoppable. We already know it's a runaway train. He's unstoppable. And then he said, they're going to get tired to see his face, bro. Right? They're going to get tired no matter what they do to try to stop him. His music lives on forever. His legacy lives on forever. So just give that fight up, because he's already cemented as the GOAT of dancehall, the Bob Marley of dancehall. Straight like that. And then he says, so yo, ghetto youth, Guan. So yo, ghetto youth, keep living your life. Keep struggling, keep surviving. Keep making it no matter what they put against you. Always fight it. Hold it out, right? And with that last line, we reach the end of another Vybz Kartel and Squash masterpiece. And I know there's another verse, but this is a whole new thing that I'm trying right now. So I ain't Caspian right now, and I'm really diving into how deep the lyrics are. So I didn't want to make a video that's like 30 minutes if I go into Squash's last verse. But if you guys want me to cover Squash's last verse, let me know in the comments. I ain't gonna take up any more of your time. So until then, you already know that is G6 forever.
Live some different life, shine bright on the pussy them. Remember all the good and all the things them we do for them. Mount of strength and me gay, and I'm still want me for them. Yeah, me do this by myself, I me not need nobody else.